Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the show of Know Thyself Better for Effective Parenting. I always start with this question, and this is this is one of my favorite topics that I always do. That is effective parenting. And with this, I would like to go ahead and start. And I would want to tell you, I am not a parent, but I have my parents who have raised me to be a successful entrepreneur today. I am Safina. I'm your parenting coach, psychologist, and entrepreneur. I have been spreading across in doing this various programs in 28 different countries, having an experience and communicating to a lot of our students, lot of our teachers, and lot of our parents. I did my research on how important is effective parenting. So the viewers who are watching today, I would request all of you to please be very interactive so that any questions that you have, any challenges that you have, you can just go ahead and type in the comment. I would be very happy in answering all your questions. With this, I would like to go ahead and start the session by thanking Mr. Preetham Agarwal of Hello Kids Preschool, who gave me this opportunity to have this session live with all of you, and also the various other schools like Play School, Petals International, Sri Aurobindo Schools, and more. Okay, with this, I would like to go ahead and start. I have a question for all the audience here who are watching this session live. What is parenting? What do you mean by parenting? Can you just give a comment in the chat box? What is parenting? When you hear the word called parenting, okay, so what things comes in your mind? What is parenting? I see. Hello. Okay, so hello to everyone. So with this, I would like to go ahead and ask, what is parenting? When you hear the word like parenting, okay, so what comes in your mind? What is parenting? And at what age the parenting starts? I would like to see if you comment in the comment box. So yeah, thank you so much for responding. So parenting, most of the people we think that the parenting is something. Okay, so we always get okay when after the child is born and the way we take care. Okay, so the way we take care of our kids. But actually, do you know the parenting starts right from the 0 month, which means when the kid is in the mother's womb, the parenting starts right from there. Okay, what I mean to say is right from the 0 month. Okay, so when the kid is in the mother's womb, the parenting starts. Okay, so when we say that the kid is in the mother's womb and the parenting starts, what exactly it is? And how does the parenting start when the kid is in the mother's womb? Right? So with this, I would want to put a simple example where you can all connect with what I'm trying to say. Basically, when the woman is pregnant, right from the second month till the seventh month, we always get to hear, okay, so you will have to do whatever you feel like doing. You need to do whatever you feel like doing. Do some good things, see some good pictures, and listen to the good music, okay, and try to make yourself positive and spread, be always happy. All of these things we get to hear. Can I ask a question to all of you? Like, why is this? Okay, is it like before 2 months it is not important, and after 7 months it is not a crucial period? Why during a second month till the seventh month it is really very crucial for a mother? Any answers? Why is it important right from the second month till the seventh month? It is a very crucial, and we always inject some of these things like say, listen to the good music, listen to the good slokas, and listen to the good people, be positive, do whatever you feel like doing it, okay, see some good pictures, and post good pictures the way you want it. We keep listening all of these things. Why is it important for us during this month? Activity becomes child as important, raising the child, okay, parents, amazing, wonderful answers. So with this, I would like to tell, during the second month till the sixth month, this is the time where the brain starts developing of a kid. Okay, when the brain starts developing, it will be like this. It's like a sponge. Okay, the more you, I mean, you will be keep pouring the water on the sponge. You cannot see that it is wet until and unless you don't touch, until and unless you don't feel, right? So this is how it is your brain developing. Okay, so when the brain is developing, it is like a sponge. Okay, how it is like a sponge? How whatever you inject to yourself by listening good music, by meeting good people, and seeing something good, and all of these things, your brain starts adopting. When your brain starts adopting, it goes to your conscious brain, right? So that's how your parenting starts right from the 0 month, but at the same time, the crucial time is from second month to the seventh month. Okay? And I wanted to tell all the participants here, parenting is not when the kid is born. Parenting is right from when the kid is in the mother's womb. Okay, so with this, let's go and get started the session. So the whole objective of today's session is effective parenting. So when we wanted to talk about effective parenting, it is really very important for us to understand, to know ourselves better. You can see the banner and you can see that, okay, so know thyself better for effective parenting. It means we need to know ourselves first before we could inject something to our kids, right? So with this, I have a small presentation. So I would want to give you this insight when you are pregnant, your baby is exposed and everything you are experiencing. Right, amazing answer. Okay, so when you see my screen, what do you see on my screen? Can you see my screen? Yeah, see, when you see my screen, you can see my screen like reclaim your power to redesign your future, and as well as at the same time you can redesign your children's future, right? So, how many of you are excited to know what exactly is redesigning your future? What is the meaning of redesigning your future? Yeah, so reclaim your power to redesign your future and your children, which means we all have a power within us. It is just that we will have to redesign our power to the future and to make sure that we are giving a proper instructions to our children, right? So that's how it's going to work out. This is what is called as, okay, so am I clear? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Can you type in the chat box if you can hear me, see me, and see my screen? Can you all see my screen? All right, so I just go ahead and share my screen. All right. So with this, I would like to go ahead and ask the next question. Okay, so when we are doing the parenting, there are two important factors that we must remember. One is the training versus the payment. What is the difference between our training and the payment? And what is the difference? And why do we understand that this is very important? As a human being, we are trained or attained by our parental figures, right? So what do you think? Like, do we need to train our kids or do we need to tame our kids? Can you give me in the chat box, like, do you want to tame our kids or do you want to? Yes, voice is not clear. Okay, just give me a moment. I will just check. Okay, is my voice is clear now? All right, so I feel that now everyone can listen to me. All right, perfect. So, yeah, so what is the difference between the taming and what is the difference between the training? Okay, so do we need to train our kids or do we need to tame our kids? How many of you say training our kids is important, and how many of you say training our kids are important? Okay, I see some of the people are saying that training our child, okay, amazing. You are audible. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So what is important? Training or training? Right. So most of the answers that I receive is like training. But at the same time, I would want to say training and training is a combination. Okay. So it is like the process of when we are doing the parenting, when we are raising our kids, it is very important that training and training should be the combination where we can make sure that we are doing an effective parenting. Okay, and with this, yeah, train. Right. Okay, so with this, I have one more question. Do you know what are all the types of the parenting styles? How many of you know the parenting styles? We need to train them. Okay, yes, we need to train them. And do you also agree, along with training, sometimes minimum of a 20% to 10% during the process, or maybe like as per the requirement, we should also train them, right? Yes. Okay, and now let's understand. Okay, so we are having four important requirements in the evolution of a human being. Okay, so when I say the four important requirements for the evolution of a human being, what does it mean? Okay, so the first one is food, and the second one is hygiene. The third one is the body temperature, and the fourth one is what? Any guesses? Any guesses? We have four requirements for evolution of a human being. So in this four requirements, okay, so the first one is food, the second is hygiene, the third is body temperature, and the fourth is what? When the kid is born, you have this four important things. Okay. So in this, I told you already three. One is food, hygiene, and temperature. What is the fourth one? What is the fourth one? Any guesses? What is the fourth one? Fourth one is one of the most important, and with this, we are going to enter into the actual effective parenting. Yeah. So the first is food, the second is hygiene, the third is body temperature, and the fourth one is okay, okay, all right. Okay, so the answer what Mr. Singh is giving that is right. Okay, so with this, I would want to ask you one more question. Okay, so what is the fourth one? First is the food, the second one is hygiene, and the third one is the body temperature, and the fourth one is safety. Okay. Is there any other answers? How many of you are excited to know the fourth one? How many of you are excited to know the fourth answer? And I see amazing response and the cooperation from all the audience. Okay, so with this, I would just go ahead and tell you what is the fourth one, which is really, really very important in the process of doing an effective parenting. That is called as touch first. That is kinesthetic, tactile. How many of you will agree with this? This is really very important, right? How it is important is when the kid is born. Okay, so what is it that we are gonna do? What is it that we are going to do when the kid is born? Okay, so the first thing that we do is a touch. The first thing that we do is touching the baby. Okay, and it is really very important. And remember, when the kid is born, the four important revolution that you give is food, hygiene, body temperature, and the touch. How is it important? As soon as the kid is born, we make sure we take care of the hygiene and we make sure that we feed. And the third important thing is we make sure when the baby is inside the mother's womb, it is a very hot environment. And when the baby is out, the baby is being exposed to the complete new environment. When the baby is exposed to the complete new environment, we always make sure whether it is a hot, whether it is a cold, no matter what, we make sure that we wrap the kid very hot, right? Just and after that we do a touch. Okay, so the moment you touch, so there will be a feeling to the kid. Okay, whoever sees, we always tell, right, when the big kid is born, okay, so it is always important, at least for next 3 months, there should be a constant touch from the parent so that the parent, I mean, the kid is feeling the presence, right? So this is important to know when we are doing the effective parenting. And why it is important, I will come back and cover that session. Okay. And now let's go ahead and move to the next. When we are talking about that, okay, so do you know how this our life is? Our life is all about a script analysis. What do you mean by the script analysis? It's simple as like this. Your life is a story and you are a story writer. Screenplay and direction is also yours. How many of you agree with this? How many of you agree with this? Your life is a story and you are a story writer, screenplay, and direction is also yours. How many of you agree with this? Our life is our life story. And we are the writer of this, we are the play of this, and we are going to give the direction. How many of you agree with this? And I want participants to participate. How many of you will agree that our life is all about a script analysis, which means, I repeat, our life is our own story and we are the story writer, we play the screen, and at the same time, we are only the direction of our own, right? Just like that, when we are doing this script play of our life, we always get the thoughts in mind. What is your life story is all about? What is the theme of your story? And what is productive likely to happen in future? Right? So these are all the kind of a questions that we always get. And with this kind of a question, we always feel that what is our life should be and what will happen when our kids doesn't raise properly, what will happen if they don't listen to us. There are so many questions which is popping in our mind, and at the same time we also have the question what you have to choose your life, the purpose, and achieve the same, what specific behaviors are following. Do you all agree with this? And how many of you think this is interesting for you to attend on Sunday during your busy schedule? How many of you are interesting? The topic is really amazing. How many of you feel that this is an interesting topic for all of you? If you feel this topic is interesting and we are going in the right direction, please do your comments that it is interesting so that I know like what I'm doing it, and I also get inspired like okay whether my audience are following in line with me or not. Yeah, give me your comments. Are we in line? Is this the reason that you are here today on our Facebook live? And if the session is interesting, are you getting a rich content so that you can adopt some of the tips for effective parenting? Do you agree? Yes, I see people are agreeing with this. Okay. All right. So thank you so much. Now, if you see, okay, so we have hungers for a human being. Okay. So we always have a complaint. Okay. So we have two type of a hungers. One is a biological hunger. Another one is a psychological hunger. So what is a biological hunger? Biological hunger is we cannot control. Okay. So this is not in our hand, and this is automatic process right from the time we born until we go to the last stage of our life, right? So that is hunger for food, hunger for sleep, hunger for thirst, hunger for sex, right? So this is the continuous process of a biological hunger where every human being is having. And at the same time, if you see psychological hunger, what is the difference between a biological hunger and a psychological hunger? In short, I will tell you. Biological hunger is something which is there in our gene, and psychological hunger is something which is there in our brain, which is there in our mind. Okay, so remember anything which is psychological, which is in our brain and which is in our mind. Okay, so that hunger is a stimulus hunger, recognition hunger, contact hunger, sexual hunger, trying structuring, and incident hunger. So, what exactly is the meaning of these particular 6 points? What is stimulus hunger? What is recognition hunger? What is the contact hunger? What is the sexual hunger? What is the time? What is incident? So, all of this is a psychological. We might have seen some kind of an incident, and that incident is being stored in our brain. And when it is being stored, we always crave for it and we always have a fear. For an example, I saw an accident while I was driving. Okay, so when I see the accident that is being stored in my psychological, that is my brain, that anytime when I wanted to next go and drive, I always have this kind of a fear. Okay, so what happens if I again meet with an accident? What happens again if I see an accident? This is the kind of a thing that keeps coming in our brain. So with this, I wanted to tell you one simple thing. Our brain has two portions, right? One is the conscious one, another one is the subconscious one. And do you know what percentage of our brain is conscious and what percentage of our brain is unconscious? Do you know how much percentage of our brain is conscious and how much percentage of our brain is unconscious? Okay, so I would tell you, okay, 5% of your brain is conscious and the rest 25% of, I'm sorry, 95% of your brain is unconscious, which means your conscious brain is something like this. Even if you are sleeping, it keeps working like a clock. It will never stop. Okay. And your conscious brain is something like this. When you are awake, it starts working. Okay. So with this, what I wanted to convey my message here is when you know the powerful signs that our 95% of your brain works unconsciously and 5% of your brain works consciously, can we all put our efforts to train our brain as well as our kids' brain to work 95% unconsciously the way we want? It can be in the form of a positive, it can be in the form of discipline, it can be in the form of emotion, it can be in the form of anything, right? So I will give you one simple example. So I believe that most of the people here are parents or the teachers as well as some of the owners. Okay, so whoever it is, my example is common for all. So what is the example that I wanted to quote is assume I'm in the kitchen now and I'm cooking food. Okay, and I receive a call from my loved one. When I am on a call, still, I am cooking and I make sure that when I'm cooking, I put my ingredients properly. That is, I'm putting the salt properly, my chili powder properly. My hands are going and picking up all the ingredients the way I want. I mean, wherever it has been kept. Even though I have been busy in the phone, right? But still, I'm able to pick up the ingredients wherever it is kept. And no one is giving me an instruction that the chili powder is on the right hand side, the salt is on the left hand side. No one is giving an instruction. Have you realized how all these things is happening? This is happening while you were started learning the cooking, or when someone was teaching you, or when you have seen your brain has adopted and it is being stored in your subconscious mind. Okay, this is the powerful of your subconscious mind. And I would like to quote another simple example. When we wake up in the midnight and we want to go to the toilet, so are we all going to the toilet room? Yes, no matter how much we are asleep, no matter how much we are tired, at the same time, we are going directly to the toilet room. We are not going to the kitchen. We are not going anywhere, right? How it is happening? Because our unconscious brain is still awake. Our practice has been made our unconscious brain trained in the way that we want it. So it follows whatever it wants. Okay. So with this, what I wanted to say is make sure whatever the instructions that you are giving it to you, your family, to your kids, remember your unconscious brain is picking up all of that things, right? So this is how our hunger works. Okay, and this is how we need to remember certain things, which is really very important. And this is an amazing science. Just on a conscious and an unconscious, we can have 1 day whole session, and this is going to be a powerful session. And let's see like how we are going to take this forward in our future sessions. Okay, and with this I will come to the objective again, and I will remind you why we are here today. We are going to learn the 4 parenting styles, and we are going to learn the common mistakes the parent does and how do we need to avoid. Okay, so this is the important things that we will be learning. And at the same time, as a complementary, I would be covering, okay, so how do you need to develop emotional development in your child, social development in your child, and at the same time physical development in your child. How many of you feel this is going to be a very interesting? If you feel this is going to be interesting, please type in the chat box, and also say thumbs up if you like this. We are having the 3 states. Okay, so that is the first state is the parent ego state, and the second state is adult ego state, and the third one is the child ego state. So what is the meaning of these states is like parent ego state is a thought, okay, adult ego state is a thought, and the child ego state is a felt. Okay, so with this we will keep covering, And I would want to ask another question to all the participants here. Do you know, when the kid is born, right from the 0 month till the 7 years, what is the process of a learning for a kid? Whether it is like the kid is learning everything by observing, by listening, or by hearing, or by talking, how does the information is passing through your subconscious? What is the mode that it is going through your subconscious? I can give you an example, and I want the answer from your side. Okay, so we are having the four cycles in our life. Okay, 0 to 7, 7 to 13, 13 to 21, and 21 plus. Like this, we are having a different cycles. When we are having the different cycles, during the first cycle, the kids are dependent on us. Okay, the kids are dependent on our parents. Okay, be it like how to take shower, how to eat food, how to write, how to dress, all of these things. And as a toddlers, as a preschool, so you're all teaching this to the kids, right? So when you're all teaching this to the kids, do you know, do you teach the kid how do they need to eat food? No, you're not going to teach how do they need to eat food. You are going to teach them what are all the skills that they need to adopt while eating, right? I mean, eat from the right hand, or like how, I mean, you will be teaching them what is discipline. You will be teaching all of these things. But literally, you are not making them to eat like this. For an example, if they want to drink a water, you are not teaching them to take a glass and pour the water and you drink it. No, you're not doing that. But instead, what you're doing, now it's a time that you eat your food. Okay, so now you need to drink a water. So what you will do? Automatically you pour a water and you do this. The process of doing this, when you are doing this, no, it is going through the subconscious of a kid. Okay, he starts learning. Okay, this is how I need to drink a water, right? At the same time, it happens like this itself when your kids are taking shower. Okay, so you are not teaching them, okay, you need to take a balti, you need to take a mug, you need to pour the water on the left side and then the right side and on the head. You're not telling all of these things. The way you were doing it, the kid starts observing. When the kid starts observing and the kid starts adopting, this is how you are going to train your kids, right? That means 0 to 7th month, again, 7 years, it is very crucial again, because most of the things the kid starts learning by observing. Okay, so you need to be more careful in terms of your behavior, in terms of your symptoms, in terms of your communication. What is it that you wanted to inject to your kid? Okay, I will give you, when I do a lot of a one-on-one sessions, I get a people from across the globe, and the most common people they come up with the problem is my kid doesn't listen to me anything. Okay, my kid doesn't listen to me anything. And how many of you feel the same problem you are also facing, that my kid doesn't listen to me anything? After a certain age, okay, you start feeling that my kid doesn't listen to me anything, right? So most of us will face this problem in some or the other instance. So I would like to make one realization. Okay, see what happens when the kid is coming back from the school, or when the kid is coming back from outside. What happens? The kid comes and starts sharing things with their parents, right? Mother is in the kitchen, the kid comes joyfully, throw the bag, and then he or she comes and says that, mama, today happened like this, mama, today happened like that, I'm so this, I'm so that. They start sharing their experience. When they start sharing their experience, so what you will be doing is basically you are allowing them to stop that by saying, can't you see I am busy, go and talk to your father. Okay, I will talk to you later. Okay, and the kid will go to the father, and the father says, can't you see I have just come from the office now and I'm busy, go and talk to your grandparents, right? So like this we keep avoiding our kids whatever they are sharing, and we don't have a time to listen to them. And when we are doing this, they start adopting. Okay, so they start receiving that kind of a disconnect. Okay, which means the subconscious brain starts adopting that, why do I need to share? They don't have time for me. Okay, and they stop sharing things. And when they stop sharing things, and you are complaining in the later stage, my kid doesn't listen to me and my kid doesn't share anything to me. But do you realize whose mistake is this? Are we responsible for this? The kids are not sharing anything with us. Are we responsible for this? That kids are not listening to us. Do you agree with this? And with this, how many of you would take this commitment that no matter how much ever busy you are, when your kids are sharing something, please allow them to share. And I totally understand, not all the time we will be able to share, but at the same time, when we are sharing, we should also make sure we tell them in a very polite way. Is it okay? Can you share this a bit later? Or I am cooking, so you can share. I am listening to you. So we have certain language that we communicate. So remember, audience, and I would want to say this again and again: our words can change our world. Our language is a very important, the powerful tool. Our language can either break us, our language can either make us. Okay, so with this, I would want to give this invitation to all of you. The choice is yours, what kind of a words that you want to use, what kind of a language that you want to use with your kids. Okay? Okay, all right. So now coming back to the ego state of a human personality, as we see the other state. Okay? Yes, we have to listen to them. Amazing. Yes, this is what the response that we are. I'm looking from the audience. Okay, now we are coming back to the very important topic, that is parent ego state. It is set of a thinking, feeling, and the behavior patterns that resembles those of the parental figures. Do you know, we have a four type of a parental ego state. That is MP, that means nurturing parent. The second one is critical parent, and the third one is the firm parent, and the fourth one is the rescuing parent. And how many of you are here who belongs to one or the other category? Okay, I belong to a nurturing parent, I belong to a critical parent, I belong to a firm parent, I belong to a rescuing parent. Okay, so to give you an in short of what is nurturing, critical, firm, and the rescuing, nurturing is all about like overprotective. Okay, I'm giving my best, but at the same time, I'm overprotecting them. Okay, and critical parent. Okay, whatever the kids are sharing, whatever they just criticize and they just start comparing. Okay, so see, look at your friend. Okay, so look at your sibling, look at your sister, look at your brother. Okay, why don't you listen to me? Okay, so they have the authoritative of self. You need to listen everything what I say, right? So the firm parent is a moderate parent. Okay, so the rescuing parent, no matter whatever the mistake you do, it's okay. I am there to rescue you from any of the problem or the situation that you're facing, right? So this is understanding for all of you, and I wanted you to realize yourself what kind of a parenting that you are into a current state. And at the same time, let me see how many of you are interested in knowing what is the right kind of a parenting. Yes, Mr. Yogendra Patel says no matter how much time we are busy, they won't have only 5 to 10 minutes. We have to give them a time to our kids. That's amazing. This is how we are doing. The small things makes a lot of a sense. Remember, your 7 years of a kid is very crucial, and it is in your hand. Okay, so it is in us. Like, how do we need to give them the invitations? Okay, in terms of our language, in terms of our behavior, all of these things is really very important. So, are you understanding? How do you need to understand yourself so that you can give the effective parenting skills to your child, right? So this is how I wanted to cover today's session. That's the reason I'm not covering the entire just parenting tips. Okay, so now coming back. Now we talk about the parent ego state, which is called as the thought process. Okay, so what does it mean? So whenever you belong to the category of these things, okay, that is caring, guiding, encouraging, supporting, agreeing, clinging, let me help you, and characterized by more pleasant and affirming qualities. Any of these qualities are there in you, that is like more than five, that means that you belong to a category of a nurturing parenting. Okay, and at the same time, if you come across any of the five categories in like discipline, you need always discipline, you start judging your kids, you start comparing, you become very aggressive, you start scolding for small things, you start questioning for small things, and you never agree with your kids, and you start disagreeing for everything, and you start representing the behaviors of a corrective commands, which is unquestioned and cultivated to others. Okay, so if anything of this is there, that's a high time that we really need to work on it, because this is called as a critical parenting. In short, if I have to say, this is called as a controlling parenting. So with this, what happens most of the time, we tend to lose our child from our own hands. Okay, so the formed parenting, any values which is like teach values, principles, set boundaries, assertive, yet nurturing exhibits the tough love. Okay, so this is called as a formed parenting. Rescuing parenting is like over sympathetic, overprotective, overly helpful, overly accommodative. When nurturing parent does irrationally overbond, it makes a way for a rescuing parent. And now I have a question. I covered you all the four parenting styles, right? So, what do you think? Which is the right parenting styles? Which is the right parenting styles? We are MP parent, all right? Okay. So, what is the right style of the parenting? Whether it is a nurturing parenting, whether it is a critical, whether it is a firm, or whether it is a rescuing. Do you think one parenting is important, or do you feel it is a combination of all the parenting skills? It's just that it depends on the situation. Do you agree with this? There is nothing called as a right or wrong. Okay? All of them are equally important. It's just that it's a situational base. We need to know when we will have to be firm, when we will have to be rescue, when we will have to be controlling, and when we will have to be critical, right? So this is how you will have to be doing it. In case if you are following one system, then it's a high time that we will have to all follow all the systems. Okay? And with this, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and I would be very happy to. Very happy to answer. It should be a mix of all parenting styles. Yes, it's like all like everything is divided 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. That is 25% of nurturing. So it depends on the complete. So, it depends on the complete situational base, right? It should not be a process of only one. And do you think this is really very interesting? And are you liking something? And are you learning something out of this? And are we on the same page? Yes. You know what is the child ego state? It is always a felt concept. Okay, so the most of the parents who are here, I believe that you are from the child, the teenagers, and at the same time from the preschools and all. So that's the reason this is very important slide for all of you. You know, there are four phases of a child ego state personality. That is free child, adapted child, which in turn has two more phases, that is rebellious child and a complaint child. And the free child has spontaneity feelings, curiosity, openness, creativity, positive, happy, and in uninhabited, frank, open, expressive, and enjoying. Okay, so this is called as a free child. And at the same time, we have an adapted child that is like rebellious child and a complaint child. No matter how much you do good, 10 things are positive, one thing is negative. So this kind of a child always the picks up negative fast. Okay, so it is important for us to understand how do we need to inject our child. Okay, so some of the examples are for a free child is represents spontaneous, impulsive, and a playful part of a human behavior, has a need for affection, acknowledgement, and at the same time appreciation, express affection, closeness when needs and satisfied, and also sadness, fear, anger, and when it's not satisfied. Okay, this is some of the facts of the free child, and at the same time, adopted child. It is not ADOPTED. Okay, it is ADAPTED, adapted, right? An adapted child represents the learned behaviors of a child while growing up during the socialization process. This represents the way of adapted message received from parents, elders, parental influential figures. Okay, so what happens when it is like this? The rebellious child is always like resisting, complaining, defensive, disobedient, argumentative, arrogant, even when the situation doesn't demand. Challenges authority, not committed, incompletion of the task, too free, too frank. Okay? And at the same time, this is amazing. Compliant child speaks softer voice, use unsure of non-decisive language, anxious, avoid making eye contact, tends to whine, self-protective, cautious, courageous, timid, disciplined, follow norms, obedient, submissive, and skilled, fearfully repressed. How many of you feel that this is really very important and we were not aware, okay, this is so important and this is so simple and we were not aware about all of these things until now, right? We are all facing Okay, there are some students in the class who are super good. Some students are there who are like average. Some students are there like who are like, and when we find this, we always categorize. Do you think the categorization of our kids are advisable? No, categorization of the kid, I mean, things are not advisable, right? Because it is we as a teacher, we as a parent, we as an owner, we must really understand what kind of a kid is he, whether he is a free child, whether he's an adapted child, whether he's a rebellious, whether he's a complaint. Okay, fine. Now I come across that this kid is a rebellious. Is it not possible as a teacher, as a parent, for us to work on how to make him as a free child? It is possible, right? So it is very important in this session for you all to understand what kind of a child, I mean, what kind of a parenting is there, what kind of a child is there. When you know, then only you will be able to get some kind of a tips, and then only you will be able to adopt, and then only you will be able to understand. Do you all agree with this? Yes. Thank you. Okay, so we are having a four strokes. Okay, one is conditional positive stroke. The second is unconditional positive stroke. The third is conditional negative stroke. The fourth is unconditional negative stroke. And the fifth one is discounting. And out of all of these things, how many of you feel we always in the process of telling our kids, hurry up, be perfect, be strong, please others, try hard? How many of you feel we are having five kind of students here, okay, so who always be in a hurry up? We keep listening from our childhood, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, okay? And some of the parents, okay, so they start telling their kids, be perfect in whatever you're doing, be perfect in whatever you're doing, be strong, and you always tell you should always please others and try hard in whatever you're doing. Is this right in injecting in our child? Because from the childhood, when you are saying that hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, and be perfect, be perfect, be perfect, the kid is being molded in the same way. Okay? The kid always be in the hurry up process. The kid always wants things to be perfect. Remember, there is nothing perfection. Okay? Every day is a learning process. Every day we get to learn some or the other thing. There is no one in this world who is perfect. It is always like whatever we do, we need to do it good. We need to do it successfully, right? So we are not supposed to keep telling our kids, saying like, be perfect in whatever you're doing, be strong, please others, try hard. Because when you are doing this, you make sure that you are bringing your child the same way, and for the rest of the life, your child will always follow the same thing. He wants everything to be in a hurry. He wants everything to be perfect. And when he finds things are not perfect, he gets disappointed. With this, there will be a lot of conflicts which happens. How many of you will agree with this? How many of you are facing this? How many of you will agree with this, and how many of you are facing this kind of a challenges? And these five drivers we always tend to hear right from our childhood. Hurry up, be perfect, be strong, please others, try hard, right? So with I would want to tell, please do not inject this kind of the drivers into your kids. Okay? All right. So the next is attribution. Parents are the instructions. Parents are the directors. Parents are the opinions. What does it mean? We always inject to our kids. Okay. So this is one of the important things, and I wanted you to pay 100% attention to this. How many of us always say, don't do this, don't run. Okay. And I wanted some of the participants to participate here for the question that I would ask. You are having a kid at home and you're telling the kid, don't run. And what will the kid do? What will the kid do? The kids are at home, okay, and at the same time, you're telling the kid, please don't run. And what does the kid do? Whether the kid will stop running or whether the kid will stop, purposely keep running. The kid purposely starts running, right? And at the same time, I would like to play a small game for all the audience here. My kid shows anger. Yes, this is what happens because we are giving half injunctions to the kids. Okay, so we should always remember our brain doesn't process the negatives. Our brain processes only the positives. Okay, which means I will take a small demonstration here. All the audience who are here, okay, so follow my instruction, and my instructions are: please don't think of pink elephant. Please don't think of pink elephant. When I'm saying please don't think of pink elephant, what's running in your mind? What's happening to all of you? Can one or two persons respond? What's happening? Like when I say please don't think of pink elephant, what is it coming in your mind? When we all know there is no pink elephant exists in the world, but at the same time, at the back of our mind, okay, we see the pink color. We start imagining the pink color, right? So here is what I wanted to say. When we are doing this process, I give the instruction as don't think of pink elephant, but what you're doing, you are thinking of the same thing. And at the same time, if I say don't think of pink elephant, getting married to Aishwarya Rai and having a gorilla Abhishek Bachchan as a baby. Okay, so what's happening when we are doing this? Automatically, we start getting the image of Aishwarya, we got the image of Abhishek, we got the image of gorilla. We know, even though this is not exist, right? So this is how our brain works. So do not give the instructions to your kids saying that don't do this, don't be close, don't be important, don't be a child, don't grow up, don't succeed, don't be you. Okay, you cannot say this. At the same time, what is the better way is, I know it is very important for us to stop for certain things. Okay, so when you're stopping for certain things, it is always important for you to give the complete information, because your brain needs the completion. Your brain doesn't stop for the incomplete answers. When you give the incomplete, it starts running behind to complete that answer. Okay? Which means if you tell, please don't run, if you run, you're going to fall and you get hurt. Will the kid run now? The kid most of the time doesn't run, because he or she know what is the circumstance when he or she is running, right? They might get hurt, they might they fall, okay, some or the other thing that you are giving them so that your brain is completed, and now the kid doesn't run, right? So whenever you are using this kind of a words, be cautious. And here is my invitation for all of you: be very very careful when you are using this kind of a words. And if at all you want to use, please complete the sentence, which means please don't bang the door. If you bang the door, you will hurt yourself. Okay, please don't run. If you run, you will fall, you might get hurt, right? So like this, you will have to give the completion to your brain. I can give you one common example as well. Now I call now I call you and I say that, okay, so I take an example of Mr. Yogendra Patel, okay, and we are having a very good conversation. While we are having a very good conversation, I say, hi Yogi, I just wanted to tell something which is really very important, and this is related to you. And my phone gets hung, and my phone gets disconnected. So what's happening to Yogi now? Okay, he becomes restless. She said that she wants to talk something related to me, and she says that it is very important. So now what he does, he starts seeing my alternate number. He starts speaking to my friends. He makes sure that he is reaching out to me in some or the other way, just to make sure that he needs the completion what I was trying to say. Right? Most of the time our brain works like this. So it is up to you. How do you want to decide and how do you want to nurture? 95% remember is your unconscious, 5% only conscious. When you try to do things consciously, you might tend to like lose it. When you are brain, I mean, when you're training your brain unconsciously, you always see the result. I hope this has been some of the interesting topic for all of you. And I see a very good response from all the participants. And I'm very grateful for it. And with this, I wanted to tell you your future need not to be equivalent to your past, and can consciously create a future that you want to, not scripted by someone. You can create the way you want. Okay, and you can be the architect to write your new story, and you are the artist, and you are the own screenplay of your direction. The choice is yours. Literally, the choice is yours. How many of you feel this is really very interesting and you have learned something out of it? Before I could go for the tips, which I will be taking maximum 15 minutes, okay, I would want to hear from the audience. If this session is helping you, are you learning out of this session something? Please, your comments are the valuable for me so that I can accordingly give you the tips. Because as promised, I have covered know thyself better for the effective parenting. Now it's a time that we cover up some of the important tips and the common mistakes that we do. You know, this morning I was just coming across and I made sure that this is the tip that every parent must know. Okay, so what are the common mistakes that we are doing when we are doing the effective parenting is not letting your child to explore, constantly comparing. This is the common mistakes where the parents are doing. Okay, and I'm sorry, but the fact is the fact. Okay, we are not letting our child to explore. And the second one is constantly comparing his or her with others. And the third mistake is trying hard to raise a perfect child, which is not possible, right? And at the same time, the fourth mistake that we are doing is we are always threatening for their bad habits, which is not necessary and which is not required. Okay? And telling her always be right. And the sixth is like preaching without practice. I am not preaching myself. I'm not practicing myself, but I'm preaching, right? And the next mistake is like ignoring her school life. Remember, the school life is a very precious life. Please have a timetable for yourself where you can spend a quality time with your kids, listen to them, give them an opportunity to talk to them, to share with them. Okay, so this is how you build a relationship with your kids. Okay, and the ninth mistake that we are doing is fighting with our partner in front of the kid, which can give the negative impact to your child, raising her to become what you want to be, not what they want to be. Okay? And the 11th mistake is parent always behaves like a sir friend. And the 12th mistake is missing the wonder of a childhood. Remember these 12 mistakes, the commonly where we do, and let's stop doing these mistakes so that we build a very good relationship with our child and we can bring in a very good and the disciplined child to our country and to ourselves, right? So, with this, I have covered the 12 common mistakes of the parenting. Now, with this, I will quickly cover how do you need to develop emotional, physical, and the social development in your child, be it as a teacher, be it as a parent, be it as a sibling, be it as a friend. Okay? So, this is very important. The 5 ways to improve your emotional quotient is simple. Okay? Encourage eye contact. What do you mean by encourage eye contact? You should always make sure that you should allow the opportunity for your child to speak to you in the eye contact, speak to the friends in the eye contact. With this, what happens? They will be building the fearless communication with them, confidence in them, and also fearless life. Okay, so this is how we will have to build. Okay, make them to speak eye contact. Okay, and if nothing is being around, okay, so you can start giving them the games. Okay, maybe what you can do, no, the simple game that you can give is just walk around the house, see whatever wherever it is there, and okay, maybe like in your own bedroom, just check where is the table, where is the bed, where is the wardrobe, okay, where is the like your toys and the tiny pots, everything, and make a list of it, create a story and narrate the story to me. So with this, what happens? You are building an ability in your kid to make sure that he is building his thinking process and at the same time like being more patient, and at the same time you are helping them to narrate the story, which builds them in confidence and also a fearless child. Okay, and the second tip that I wanted to give is teach them an emotions. What is an emotions? You will should always teach them an emotions. It's simple as like this. Smile and ask them what emotion is this? Is this the emotion of a happiness? Okay. and give the emotion of a joy, take the emotion of anger, take the emotion of depression, take the anger. I mean, you can choose whatever the emotion you want. So basically, for the toddlers and the teens, what I always recommend is you need to teach them happy, sad, fear, okay, and stress, okay, and excitement and nervousness, tired, and terror. This is the kind of an emotions that you can give. These emotions, you can do it on your face and ask them to like just check what emotion is that, or otherwise you can use a smileys and ask them to give the emotion for it, or you can use a placard and you can ask them to emotion with it. When you are doing this, the kid is prepared with all the emotions, okay, and he is being prepared no matter what, and this helps in building the non-verbal communication with the audience, with the parents, with the family and the society. If someone is sad, you should always make sure that he understands that the someone is sad, okay. So how this is possible, the best way to do is building an emotions, okay, of joy, anger, nervousness, stress, okay. So like this, the important emotions, because you know your child better, right? So pick up some 5 emotions, use the placards and ask them to identify the emotions, or use yourself and be a communicator with your kid and ask them to find out what emotion is this and narrate. You know, I was so happy when I was like this. Okay, start narrating. Okay, build a rapport between you and your kid like this. Okay, and the next tip is make communicator. Okay, so that is verbal and the non-verbal. Okay, so this is very important to make a communicator with verbal and non-verbal because these adds a value, because it is very important for a kid to know the verbal and as well as a non-verbal is equally important for all ourselves, right? And at the same time, give the fourth tip is give them an environment. What is the meaning of give them an environment? Don't let them alone to protect. This may lead the face to the world in future. Most of the times we are so productive, okay, we don't let our children go out, we don't let our children to do anything that they wanted to do, right? When we are doing all of these things, we are protecting, and when they keep growing, they cannot face the world, right? So instead, what you will have to do, you will have to make sure that you are letting them to explore, okay, be it in terms of their hobbies, be it in terms of their like making them to play in the playground, making them to swim, okay. So there should be some kind of an activity where you are not holding them and at the same time they are learning, right? So that in future they can face the world with fearlessly and with confidence, right? Okay. And the next and the last tip for emotional building, emotional development is prepare for the higher social skills. Okay. Prepare them for the higher social skills. When you're preparing for the higher social skills, which means it is very important that they adopt the qualities of a negotiation skills, they adopt the qualities of a confidence, they adopt the qualities of no matter what. Okay. So this is how you will have to develop these skills, and in turn, all these 5 tips will lead to the emotional development of a kid. Okay, and at the same time, now, okay, so we covered like how do you need to build your social skills. Sorry. So now we are coming back and understanding the emotional skills. Okay, so in the emotional skills, okay, so what we will be doing it is we make sure that we show some kind of an empathy, and we will be giving them some kind of a problem solving questions. We develop these skills where, okay, so I create a problem. For an example, most of the parents are having this, okay, my kid doesn't eat, my kid doesn't drink water a lot. So what I will be doing at this point of time, I will make sure that I will make sure that I do some kind of a problem. Okay, so maybe like I take a glass of water and I spill like this, and I say, oh my bad, I spilled the water, which is not really good. So what do I need to do to not doing this mistake is I need to eat a good food so that my arms become strong, so that I can hold the water bottle tightly, right? So with this, what I'm doing, I am giving the information. I'm sending the message to them. Eating is more important to be strong, and at the same time, I am building the emotional quotient in me that whatever the problem comes, I know how to solve that, right? So this is how you're going to do to build your emotional quotient. Okay. So with this, how many of you feel this session has been interesting and this has been very helpful? With this, I have come to an end of the session. Know thyself better for the effective parenting. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment box. I would be very happy to answer for all your questions. And if you don't have any questions, and I would let the host to come and take over from here. I hope you have enjoyed this session, and I would want all the participants who are watching us live, okay, to give a minimum of at least one takeaway in this entire session. In case if you want me to add a few more sessions and further, you are most welcome to just type in the chat box as well. Okay, suggest something. Yeah, suggest something. My baby does not share anything with even with a family. Is it okay? I should let him be. Okay, all right. So may I know like what is the age of your baby? May I know what is the age of your baby? Okay, so with this, what happens if your baby is small and if your baby is not sharing anything, then we will have to give them the activities where they can open up. We will have to monitor them for at least a week on certain things. Okay, maybe their behaviors. Okay, sometimes what happens, we get confused between the behaviors and the symptoms. Okay, so we need to monitor on the behaviors. When we monitor the behaviors, then we must understand why is he not saying anything. When he is not saying anything, we should make sure that we must give some kind of an activity. Okay, for an example, the simple, if I am in your place, what I would do is, my baby is not sharing anything with me and even with the family. Okay, so what I would do with this, I will give an activity to the baby saying that, okay, just go around and pick up whatever you feel like picking up and just scribble it down. Okay, I know the 3.7-year baby cannot do a lot, but I can give a simple technique. Okay, and I ask the baby, okay, so now can you share this with me? Okay, and when you're telling this, encourage them with a kind of a reward. Okay, maybe like a star, maybe like the chocolate, maybe like anything. Okay, encourage them with the rewards. Okay, when you encourage with them the rewards and give a comfort zone to them, and make sure that whatever you are doing, you give some kind of an indirect message to the kid where the kid starts learning and starts adopting. Right? So was this answer helpful? Have I answered to your question? The simple is be, yeah. Yes. So any other questions? Do you have any other questions? And for Priyanka, I would say don't let him be the same way that he is. Make sure you observe the behaviors, okay, right from the time he wakes up until he goes to the bed. And after observing all of these things, okay, so curate some activity related to that where he comes. Okay, see, always we must remember identify the problem. When we identify the problem, work on the problem, right? Okay, hello ma'am, my daughter always snatch a mobile if I don't give her. Okay, so what is the age of your kid? Okay, when your daughter snatches a mobile from your hand, what is your reaction? Have you ever tried to communicate to your daughter what is wrong and what is right when they snatch the mobile like that? Have you given the complete information? Or have you just been given the information like this? Snatching mobile is bad, don't do that. Have you been just doing like this? Or you have told this is not a good manners. You should not do this. Okay, 3.5. Okay, so what is your answer? When the kid is snatching the mobile, what's your answer? What have you been responding? Are you getting anxious? Are you getting angry? Are you getting like stressed? Or you are just being shouting? What is it that you are doing? It is very important for us to understand self for answering that what is my response when this problem is happening. For an example, if I am just telling, don't snatch the mobile like this is bad. No, that's not the right answer. Yes, I get anger. Do you remember? I covered the four parenting styles. Okay, so we tend to get anger. So what is the best way to handle this? We should make sure that we are giving them an information in such a way. Okay, it is like this. Please don't snatch the mobile. Snatching mobile is really bad and you might harm yourself. Right? So you need to give the complete information. You need to be empathized and you need to give the clear information. Why do they need not to snatch the mobile? And try this for at least a week and you see the change in it. Okay? And always remember, if you want to bring any changes in your kids, you need to follow that for 21 days. Anything that you do for 21 days, it becomes your habit. Anything that you do for 90 days, it becomes your lifestyle. So it is in your hand what kind of a habit that you wanted to imbibe in your kids. Okay, make sure that they follow that for 21 days. Right? Sir, Akhilesh, have I answered your question? Okay, so we have the next question, Sneha Kadam. My son is 5 and it takes him a lot of the time to open up in front of the people, which does not known. Otherwise, he's very expressive. So with this, what I feel is like there are two things. Okay, so the kid is okay. There are there are two aspects for this. Okay, one is the intelligence. One is the kid always like open up with everyone, and the other kid is like they don't open up so easily with anyone. Okay, so with this, what we will have to do, we will have to start working on playing some kind of an activity. So what is that activity is, you will have to give them a simple activity. For an example, your kid is not ready to open up in front of the people, right? So the best way is, what you will have to do, you will have to give them an activity to pick up at least one person who is unknown. Okay, so this is, the kid is 5 years, you can always choose. Okay, and you should encourage the person. Okay, and you should always encourage your son. Can you share about yourself to this person? Maybe it can be friend, maybe it can be teacher, maybe it can be you. Okay, which the kid is not known, encourage them in talking about that. When you encourage them what they are not good at and you're giving them that kind of a task, they become more confident, they become more fearless. Right? Okay, so thanks, Samrar and Jami from Aurobindo School, Chandigarh. How can I handle those children who become very stubborn and they do not listen to us even when they teach them and make them be understand again and again? Okay, can I see this comment now, please, so that all the audience can see? This is because this is one of the important things. How can I handle those children who become very stubborn? They do not listen to us even when we teach them or make them understanding again and again. Okay, when it is like this, it is always better, we need to be in their own shoes. Okay, when the kid is stubborn and when he's not listening and what he is expecting, you make sure that you give it to them. Okay, and make sure that you are explaining them why it is important and create some kind of a situation in front of them. They become realized by themselves. See, always it is important from 0 month to 7 years, making the kids realize rather than lecturing them. Most of the time what we do, we lecture them, don't do this. Okay, you have become so ziddy, you have become so stubborn. I mean, if you do this, I will do like this. Okay, so do not give this. Okay, they are stubborn, identify for what they are stubborn and make sure that you also do the same thing and make them to realize. Okay, which means what I'm trying to say is, play a small role play. Okay, role play and ask them to narrate. If they are in that situation, what would be their response? So making them realize is most important. Have I answered this question? Making them realize is very important. So the best way is, you will have to make sure that you play a role play. Okay, the stubborn, the normal, the fearless, the confidence. Okay, so like this, create an incident in front of them, or watch some kind of a small audio, or I mean sorry, watch some kind of the video which is related to this. Okay, so make them realize and make them keep communicative and engage them. If they were in that place, what would they respond? Okay, so never ever point out them. Yeah. All right. So she is 14 years. Okay. Okay. My daughter behavior is always aggressive when she's asked anything, how to deal with it. Okay. So, all right. Thank you. Okay, so my daughter behavior is always aggressive when she is asked anything, how to deal with it. Okay, so I wanted to understand she's 14 years and she's grown up child. Okay, so why is she aggressive? Have you been stopping right from the childhood? And how have you raised? What kind of a parenting style that you belong to? Are you into a critical? Are you into firm? Are you into nurturing? Are you into rescuing? How much time did you spend with your daughter? Okay, so Aman, the query is not here. Okay, Anand Aman, I will come back to your query. Okay, and I will answer again. Okay, so my question here is for Suvinder Kaur. Okay, so my daughter behavior is aggressive when she is asked anything, how to deal. Okay, so what are you doing when your daughter is asking something? Can you give one instance so that I can demonstrate, and this can help for all the audience? So meanwhile, you give me one instance. So I will just go back and answer to Anandaman. Okay, my query is now cleared. Okay, sorry. Your query is now cleared. Thank you. Okay, so now coming back to Sukhwinder Kaur, my daughter behavior is always aggressive and when she is asked anything, less time. Okay, less time in the session or less time in the query. If the less time in the query, get back to the host. Okay, so they will connect to me and I would be very happy to answer you because I really need to understand before I could give the answer. Okay, one instance because aggressive has too many things. Busy, okay. All right, so less time busy. Okay. How have you been dealing with your child always? Like, hey, I don't have time. I'm always busy. Can't you see this to me? Can't you see that to me? Have you been communicating like this to your child? If you have been communicating to your child, say, I don't have time, I am busy right now, I will talk to you later, which means that you have been disassociated with your child. And it's a very high time and important that you will have to build this relationship. And how do you build this relationship is when she is being aggressive, you be very polite. Okay, you do not get anger. You do not show your anger. Okay, you don't be in the same behavior. Just calm down, give her a water. Okay, so make her relax, make her feel comfortable. Okay, try to ask like what is she trying to say, and try to ask like what is she trying to do. Okay, make her feel comfortable, right? Because you remember, because of your less time, because of your busy schedule, you have not been given the time that is required for your daughter. And now, when you need her, she is behaving the same way, right? It's a vice versa. So for this, what we will have to do is we will have to make sure that we comfort our child, okay, and we make sure that we try to understand what is it that they wanted, and it is always better for us to explain, okay, what is right and what not is right, right? Have I answered? The best way to deal is make them feel comfort, spend time, try to understand from their perspective what is it she trying to say. Any other questions? Have I missed out anything? Please, if I have missed out anything, please do type your questions again. And this session has been a lovely and it's an amazing session. Thank you for all the cooperation that you have given me in the whole session. And I see there is a lot of overwhelming responses. With this, with your permission and with the host permission, I would like to conclude the session by quoting this: your words can change your world. Okay? The choice of a word can either break you, either can make you. So it is in your hand. How do you need to make your small world a beautiful world? Yeah. So with this, I over to the host. And I would like to sincerely thank all the participants for participating in today's session during your busy schedule, being a Sunday. And at the same time, I would like to thank Mr. Preetham Agarwal, who gave me the opportunity to add value to the audience, and all the schools who have been allowed and to do this session, that is Clay Preschool and Sri Aurobindo and Petals World School, Riverstone, and Hello Kids. Thank you so much. Thank you for the lovely participation, and thank you so much. And I love you all. Anytime you have anything, you can follow me on my social media. That is Safina Naz in my Facebook and in my Instagram, and you can get connected. Thank you so much. Looking forward to see you all again.